So welcome back to the ground cinnamon. What I'm going to show you today is one of my favorite dishes, and it is called the Phal. Now with the Phal, I've been obsessed with it for over a decade, and I've been trying to figure it out for over a decade, and I've finally figured it out. It is meat in a coriander sauce. Now you usually use red meat, so you could use mutton, beef or lamb. You could also use chicken if you like, and it is slowly braised in this coriander sauce. I'm really glad to share this with you today. Let's get started. So to make mutton Phal, I am going to begin by separating my ingredients into 4 sets. To start off, set 1 is 600 grams of mutton. By mutton, I mean goat meat. I have already mildly seasoned this meat with salt. Don't forget to, if not, your meat is going to taste like nothing. Also, you want a fair bit of fat on this meat. Set 2 are the ingredients that we're going to sweat together. So here we have a thumb-sized ginger, lots of garlic, literally a handful, a tablespoon and a half of tomato paste, 4 cloves, 3 green chillies, some turmeric, this is about half a teaspoon, 1 whole onion and a lemon. Next set 3, this is some garam masala. Using this saves you a lot of energy. Now you could go down the road of using whole spices, so whole cardamom, whole cinnamon sticks, but you'd have to do this in the previous set where you'd sweat everything together. Use this, it's just simply more convenient. Now this is a tablespoon and a half of whole coriander and half a tablespoon of fennel seeds. This set we're going to be dry roasting it. Finally, the body of the gravy is going to come from coriander leaves. This is about 2 cups. The leaves, stalks, all of it. And this is a cup of blanched spinach. Now you could go all coriander, but it is possible to have too much of something good. So blending the spinach and the coriander helps make the gravy more subtle. So first up, we will brown off our meat. For this you want a heavy bottomed casserole or a pan. Add some oil and add your mutton in batches. Now drop it and leave it for a bit. Do not stir it around, do not play around with it. What you want is one side to be fully browned. Now remember, the mutton has to be as dry as possible, if not you're going to end up boiling the mutton. Look at that. That is the color you're looking for. Now this piece of mutton is nowhere close to being fully cooked. In fact, it is extremely spongy. But what you've done is you've added heaps of flavor to this piece of mutton. Now potentially, you could completely skip this step, but I wouldn't recommend. The reason being, you want to really extract the flavors of this mutton and add it to the gravy and make the gravy so much more meaty. So all the meat has beautifully browned off, and I'm going to rest it for a bit and move on to set number 2. Now set number 2 involves sweating of all of these ingredients, which I'm going to do in this very same pot. The onion and ginger gets a rough chop and simply smash your garlic. All of this is going to go into the food processor anyway, so don't sweat it with any precision. So in go the onions and the ginger. Both of these are going to take more time than the rest of the products, so I'm going to give this a head start. I'm going to give it about 3 minutes before I add the garlic, green chilli and cloves. I'm going to sweat all of these together for about 5 minutes until the onions have turned completely translucent. There you see the onions have actually lost their color, they've begun to gain some color. And in goes the tomato paste. If you don't have tomato paste, add 1 whole tomato. Now don't skip this, because you want that tang, that acidity that's going to come from the tomato. It's going to add a nice layer of flavor. Now you want to cook the tomato paste until the paste is completely caramelized before you add the turmeric. Once you add the turmeric, it should take about 10 seconds to completely cook off, and you can switch the heat off and add the lemon juice. The lemon juice, being an acid, is going to help deglaze and retain all those flavors that have been stuck to the bottom of the pan. So the second set is ready, and I'm going to move on to the next set, which is dry roasting my spices. Now we know this step a little too well. On a warm pan goes your coriander and fennel seeds, and we want to color them ever so slightly, just a few shades darker. Toss them continuously so you don't let them burn. And once you've reached your desired color, cool off the seeds completely and into a food processor it goes. So we've completed our homework. Time to move to the main assignment. So into a mixer jar, go in with your aromatics or set number 2 along with your blanched spinach. Give it a quick whiz. Now you want to begin adding water, and you want to add enough water to make this super smooth. Now you want to begin adding coriander leaves to this mixture. Add enough coriander leaves and water that will give you a thick consistency and an overall volume of around 500 ml. Remember, you don't have to add all the coriander leaves. You could use the rest of them as garnish. Look at that. Now that is the consistency you're looking for. That is the brightness you're looking for. It is bright, it's green, it's luscious, and it's going to make a phal look just fantastic. Now the base of this gravy comes from coriander. So you have a few options. You could use just coriander to make the body of this gravy, or you could make a combination of coriander and mint. So it would be 2 parts coriander, 1 part mint. You could make a combination of coriander, mint and spinach, or coriander and spinach. In these combinations, remember, coriander has to be the dominant flavor. Now in other parts of the city, people also use some coconut. So it could be 2 parts coriander, half a part of coconut, half a part of mint, half a part of spinach. The options are unlimited. Do what you like. So we're all set to begin cooking, and for this purpose we're going to go back to the very same casserole. Yes, I do care about the dishes. Into the casserole goes the coriander base. Now keep the heat setting at a low. At this point you can add as much water as you like. Remember, you can maintain any consistency. You can keep it as thin as a soup, but I like it thick. Into this I'm going to add garam masala, a teaspoon of garam masala, and the roasted coriander and fennel powder. Once the coriander sauce has come to temperature, add in your mutton. Give it a dash of water to adjust its consistency. Stir, 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 and place the lid over. From this point, you want to let this braise at a very low temperature for the next 45 minutes. Let's check on the phal. Oh, that is looking really good. So to check if the mutton is completely done, take a fork and feel the resistance on the meat. If the fork doesn't get through very easily, it needs more time. So this definitely needs more time, so I'm going to give it at least 10 minutes more. But before that, I am going to season this. I'm going to season it with about 1.5 teaspoons of salt. It's been 15 minutes and I'm going to give it another fork test, and the mutton is extremely soft. Now all that's left is the final step, which is the most important step of making a phal. So final step. It is this final step of seasoning that really defines a phal and gives it its unique flavor profile. So in a tablespoon of hot ghee, you want to add a teaspoon of freshly ground black pepper. Now, because the phal is green, a lot of people assume that you put a ton of green chilies. That is not true. The real heat comes from this last step, which is you add the pepper in some ghee, and you add a significant amount of pepper, and it is this aftertaste of this pepper that makes the phal one of the best gravies I've ever had. So after the black pepper has been completely incorporated into this hot ghee, add it to the phal, give it a mix, and it's time to get serving. So I'm going to serve this with some semia and some pickled onions. Lunch today is going to be truly memorable. And there you have it. Our beautiful mutton phal is ready. Now this, you can serve it with some rumali roti. You know, my friend often asks me, if you're stuck on an island for the rest of your life, what is the one movie you'd watch? Or what is the one dish you'd eat for the rest of your life? I have the answer for the dish, and it is mutton phal with rumali roti. Also, you can make this as thick or as loose as you like. It could range from a very thick, dry, almost like a starter, to almost a soup consistency. And it goes really well with some steamed rice, with some dosa, with some semia like I served, or my all-time favorite, rumali roti. Do make it at home. This is a luscious, superb, addictive gravy. You're gonna love it. And if you've liked what I've shown you, do like, share and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching.